Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be basically doing my first Q&A with my answers for your guys' questions for The Walking Dead Season 6, since we're mostly going to be focusing on that, looking back, but also mainly focusing on what we're going to see in Season 6. Let's do it. Q&A 1. There's going to be lots this summer, leading up to The Walking Dead Season 6. Okay, so the first question for this one, and it's kind of an obvious one, is from a lot of people, a lot of casual viewers been asking, will the Wolves attack Alexandria? And I think it's a no-brainer. Of course, I think they will. And some of the other theories are that it's possible there could just be two of them, but yet they may Walker bomb like crazy the Alexandria, and then afterwards maybe we can see some kind of remix of the No Way Out storyline from the Walking Dead comic book series. But in this case, you have the Wolves, where just two of them, if they're to bring, let's say, 100 zombies, like what we saw with Daryl and Arron and Morgan, if they were to unleash all of them on Alexandria and somehow break down the gates and do it and release them all, how would that go? Would they be able to use that in their attack? I'd like to see something like that. I think that would make sense for Season 6 and would make for a pretty great premiere. But that said, I do still feel like there has to be more members of the Wolves. But for sure, they found Aaron's backpack, and I would say, yeah, of course they will. They're going to attack Alexandria. It's going to be our main storyline for the first half of Season 6, I would think, and I think we will see a Walker bomb of some kind of, but they've got the semi truck, containers full, of zombies. How would they transport it unless they can, start up, find a semi and somehow connect it, start it up, drive it there, and then open it? That'd be tricky. So they probably have to let them go at the booby trap site and then use a car or a truck with loud music like Merle did when he attacked the governor to draw them to Alexandria. So I think that's what we'll probably see something along the lines of in Season 6, is them doing something like that. But at the same time, I do think we have to see more than two members. Two members with a Walker bomb, even though it could be effective, I do still feel like, even though they might be able to kill off a few, of the Alexandriaites, maybe one or two of Rick's survivors of the survivors group, I don't think they're going to be able to take the whole thing with just two of them, even if they use a Walker bomb. So I'm expecting we see more, more characters of the Wolves, and that they do have more members. That was a question submitted by RMCG, and he said, "Did you notice the Wolves saw Aaron's drop photos of Alexandria? Do you think they will come after them now?" The answer to that, of course, yes, of course they will. So that's just the first question. Let's go on from there. Brian Hughes, we kind of already talked about this one, as I just said. Trevor, I have a theory I'd like to hear your thoughts on. Do you think that we'll see a vastly different No Way Out from the comic books now? The Wolves clearly have a ton of walkers trapped, and we don't know exactly how many, as they could easily have more than just what we saw in the finale. That's a good point. They could have other locations, other booby traps, other things, closer by, and they seem to like to collect zombies for use later on, which ties into their kind of what seems to be like an OCD, so to speak. Then he says, "My theory is that they will use the walkers in a similar way to how the governor did in Season 3 and crash them through the gates and walls of Alexandria and let them loose in the hopes that they'll kill everyone inside, then lure them back out, or lure them back to the trucks and loot Alexandria when it's clear of survivors. What do you think?" So that's kind of what I just touched on is his idea here, Brian Hughes' idea, which is that they would kind of do a remix of No Way Out, and that they would use the walkers to their advantage to attack Alexandria. I do think we will see something like that. I do think we'll see a remix of that, because they followed, the second half of Season 5 has followed the comic book storyline very closely. And now I feel like we're probably going to see some more remixing, some more things change, some more things just done a little differently than how it was done in the comic book series, to keep it fresh, to keep it original. I feel like they should do that. I feel like they kind of have to do that. So I like the idea. I do think that you're right to some degree. I mean, it may not go down exactly like that, but I do think we will see them use zombies as they have in their booby trap, if they are to attack Alexandria soon. And I'm sure they will in the first half of Season 6. Okay, next question is from IB Sweet P2, and I'm assuming it's a she. She says, "Hey Trev, quick Q&A question. Since they dyed the actress who plays Jessie's hair blonde, do you think that she won't have the same role as in the comics and actually replace Alexandria as replace Andrea as the main love interest for Rick for the rest of the series? Thanks. Love your videos, man." Yeah, so that's a good question. So I kind of touched on this of whether or not I think Jessie is a survivor. The video I did on Sunday, which was The Walking Dead's finale tonight, and I did a Q&A in that. So basically, what I'm thinking is I don't think so. I think Sasha is more the TV series version of Andrea, but I don't see a relationship between Sasha and Rick as making sense right now. I thought that, him and Michonne made more sense for the TV series. That said, there's a lot of things to come from Sasha, I think, in the future. We saw in the finale as she lays down with the zombies in the pile, and just everything she's been doing lately. She's been getting a lot of time this season, and she's had a lot of great moments this season, like her killing Martin and that, as I mentioned in my top 5 best episodes video. Check that out if you haven't seen that. That was yesterday. But I don't see Jessie as being like a long-term strong survivor that's going to be able to take care of herself. I think they're going to use her, even though she has Alexandra Breckenridge, a pretty big actor for a Walking Dead show, right? Been in other TV shows and that. Anytime they bring in somebody like that, you tend to think they're going to have a pretty good role for at least probably a season or two. With her, I see her as a couple season character, maybe a few seasons, as I said in the video on Sunday, but I don't see her as being Andrea. No, I don't think she is Andrea, and I'd be very shocked if she was still around in 5 or 6 seasons. Just my opinion. Obviously they could do it, but I just don't. I don't see it right now. I don't think so. I don't think that's what they're going to do. Next one is from Brendo Calrissian, and he says, "Do you think Morgan will feel different about Rick now that he saw Rick kill Pete? I think Morgan will think Rick is a savage because Morgan says all life is precious." He said all life is important here. I thought he said all life is precious, Daryl, when he sees Daryl, and he gives him a nice smile as if he's happy to see him, which was fun. It's cool to see a different side of Morgan because we're not used to that, right, from what we've seen so far in the series. Yeah, I do think that's a good point, and it is really cool, and we've talked about this a bit already, of how they've reversed the roles of Morgan and Rick, how they've shifted, from season 3 till now. They're like opposites, right? They're total, opposites of how they were then. It's really cool to see their transformation both ways. Morgan going from kind of that crazed, clear, ready to kill anybody type character to where he's at now. Everything is zen with his, won't kill anybody with his, staff and everything, and even leaving the wolves to survive and not killing them when he knows they're bad people and they take from others. He definitely is going to feel different about Rick. He looks like he can't even recognize him. And the last scene when they look at each other, the way I read that is that they can't, he kind of says says Rick's name as if he's having difficulty recognizing him, like the Rick that he's seeing in front of him is not the one he's thought of for the last however many months it's taken him to find him there. He's surprised to see him, but also he's surprised to see him, executing a guy because he doesn't feel that they should be killing people. There's not many survivors left, and I can see his perspective. But definitely, if you want to keep a group together and you got crazy people or people going crazy like Peter, you either have to exile them or kill them or imprison them, which eventually we start to see them do again. But imprisoning somebody, they don't have a lot of resources, and right now it's pretty early on to be giving people chances like that. I don't think they really have the resources to do that. Scarcity has forced them to kind of turn away from the saying is ethics and morals are a privilege of a rich, or I'd say prosperous society. When resources are that scarce and people and hours and time is so precious, it's hard to kind of imprison somebody and just leave them there. You kind of have to, weigh the options of either you let them go, you just kill them and move on, and killing is happening so much all the time all around them. It makes a lot of sense to just do that with someone like Peter after he's killed Reg, the leader of the community's, biggest love, greatest love in her life. pretty sad. So yeah, so I they definitely are going to see each other differently now, I think, for sure. And that's going to be a concentration season 6 for sure, I think, and I'm excited to see how that goes. So I'll do one more for today as I'm trying to keep my Q&As. I'm going to try to shrink them down, because what will end up happening is if I do like 20 to 30 minute Q&As, we'll go through like all the questions, in like a week, and then we'll have nothing to talk about through the summer. So I'm going to reduce the length of the Q&As, and we'll just focus on a few each one, and I'll post them consistently for you guys. That's what I've decided to do. So that way we can talk about more things. And plus, too, when you do 20 or 30 minute videos, the abandon rate to people not staying through all the way and clicking off or closing is really high. So I'm trying to shrink them a bit for you guys. Lauren TWD says, in the episode, there's not a giant amount but they talk quite a bit about home. When Rick was talking to Carl, and they spoke about how Alexandria was their new home, on the side of the food trucks, which reads how the harvest goes home, when Carol confronts Pete and he says, this isn't my home, when he drops the plate, and finally the people from the Wolves when they are sitting or slitting an unknown man's throat, and they say, welcome home. Why do you think they talk so much about having a home when the Wolves don't have one? Why do the group call Alexandria home, even though Rick knows crap is going to hit the fans sooner or later? Well, so a great question from Lauren. So I think with regards to your part about the Wolves, you're right, they don't have a home, and I'm sure they want one because they like to have things. They've even got a booby trap location, which is kind of like their home, I want to say. From what we've seen so far, it seems like it could be. At least their place to keep their walkers. Yeah, but it is, we've seen what happens with characters out in the open over a long period of time, as Michonne talked about. We can't be out here too long, or we've been out here too long, and they start almost losing it. But you even see Tyrese just be killed off at random, and you will see stuff like that in the open, in the wild. If you don't have like a good solid home base, you can see characters being killed off just by set of circumstance, because there's danger everywhere, and if they let their guard down even for a minute out in the open, they can be bitten, or they can be killed off, or things can happen. So it is very valuable in a zombie apocalypse in the Walking Dead universe to have a home, a place where the characters can go, even if if there's a big storm, if it rains or whatever. No matter what it is, just to have some place to go to fortify, like the prison. It's always beneficial to have a place, unless it's under attack or something, which is a little bit different. But still, you can better defend a place, and you're more safe when you have a place to defend than if you're attacked out in the open as well, too, right? So yeah, so it's it's definitely something that has a big advantage if a group has a home base, so to speak. So that's it for these questions for today. I'll save the rest for later. And of course, we've got lots of time, of course, until season 6 hits. So send me all the rest of your questions that you guys have. Lots of time to go through them all. And I'd like to make, this summer, I think I'll probably aim for maybe 4 or 5 Walking Dead videos a week, pretty much all summer long. Hardest months are July and August to come up with new stuff for you guys. But definitely, you guys can help me with that. There's more of you now than there was last year and the year prior. So send me what you have in terms of video topics. If you say, hey, Trev, I want to see top 5 or top 10 best this or worst or whatever, or update this. You did a list on this last year. Update your best episodes of The Walking Dead ever. Any ideas you guys have to send to me, I can write them down. I can make a list, and we can do them this summer for sure. Lots of time. Any questions for Q&As? Got lots of Q&As. Last year, I think I did 17 Q&As leading up to the new season. And this year, I hope to beat that. Maybe I'll do over 20. So send me what you guys have in terms of questions, video suggestions, ideas. And I hope you're interested to stick with me this summer. Of course, Fear of the Walking Dead will be on, so that'll be great to kind of break it up. I review Game of Thrones. I review The Strain. I review Under the Dome. So lots of shows to tide us over throughout the summer if you guys are interested in checking out any of those. After The Walking Dead, there's another show I can recommend for you guys to watch if you have some time and you're kind of craving for something The Walking Dead's not on. If you're not caught up on Game of Thrones, I'm telling you, I would recommend as the next best. But don't judge it too quickly. Give it at least a few episodes to a season before you judge it, or before you decide it's not your thing or you can't get into it. It's a little difficult getting into that kind of fantasy type world, but once you get into it, I'm telling you, you would really love it. So let me know what you guys think about all the questions here. Write your comments below on what your responses would be or what you think. Send me in the About tab of the channel. Go to the channel, click on About. Send me your private messages for what videos you want to see this summer, what questions you have for the Q&As. And that's it for this one, guys. I'll see you for the next one. If you like the video, please thumb it up below. If you want to support the channel, please share it, please favorite it. If you're new, you want to subscribe, you want to get these videos all summer, bottom left, just click the subscribe. See you guys tomorrow. As always, it's Trev. Same peace.